As a part of the nanomaterials, today I am going to discuss one of the preparation or synthetic method by which we can prepare the nanomaterials. That particular preparation or synthetic method by which we can prepare the nanomaterials about which I am going to discuss today is the chemical vapor condensation, and this chemical vapor condensation method can be abbreviated as CVC. CVC. So CVC method of preparation or synthesis of nanomaterials. Now, do remember that the principle or mechanism or procedure involved in this chemical vapor condensation method is similar to gas condensation processing, which I have discussed yesterday, that is in the previous video. So since the principle or the mechanism or the procedure involved in this particular method, which is the CVC method, chemical vapor condensation method, is very much similar to the gas condensation processing, definitely we have to discuss what is the difference between gas condensation processing method for the preparation of nanomaterials and chemical vapor condensation method, which is another method by which we can prepare the nanomaterials. Right. So both are different, students. The principle is same, the mechanism is same, the procedure is same, but what is the difference between the GPC and CVC? Right. So the difference is in the case of gas condensation processing or gas condensation processing involves one precursor resulting in the formation of the single phase nanomaterial. One precursor resulting in the formation of single phase nanomaterial. On the other hand, in the case of chemical vapor condensation method or chemical vapor condensation method utilizes the two precursors resulting in the formation of the mixture of the nanomaterials. That is, during this CVC, that is chemical vapor condensation method, two phase nanomaterials are being prepared or doped nanomaterials are being prepared. So that is the basic difference between the gas condensation processing method and chemical vapor condensation method, even though the precursor, even though the principle or mechanism or procedure is one and same, students. Now, this particular method is so called as chemical vapor condensation, and we have another method which I have discussed. I have exclusively made one video on chemical vapor deposition. This is chemical vapor condensation and chemical vapor deposition. The names are one and same: chemical vapor deposition and chemical vapor condensation. Almost the name is one and same: chemical vapor deposition, condensation. Now, as there is a similarity between the names of chemical vapor condensation and chemical vapor deposition, definitely we have to discuss what is the difference between chemical vapor deposition, what is the difference between CVD, chemical vapor deposition, and chemical vapor condensation. So, making use of the CVD, students. The CVD, the chemical vapor deposition method, is useful for the preparation of thin films of nanomaterials. Thin films of nanomaterials can be prepared making use of chemical vapor deposition method, whereas chemical vapor condensation is especially used to prepare metal-based nanomaterials or ceramic-based nanomaterials. Now, though the name is one and same, chemical vapor is one and same, chemical vapor deposition, chemical vapor condensation, why these two methods are producing the different nanomaterials. Why the chemical vapor deposition method is producing thin film nanomaterials? On the other hand, why the chemical vapor condensation method is producing the metal based nanomaterials and ceramic based nanomaterials? So this can be explained on the basis of the three factors. So these are the three factors which decides whether the preparation is chemical vapor deposition method or chemical vapor deposition and chemical vapor condensation. The difference. So those factors which differentiate the chemical vapor deposition and chemical vapor condensation, by which thin film nanomaterials and metal based or ceramic nanomaterials are being formed respectively, or the one is in the case of chemical vapor condensation process, the gas flow is controlled. The gas flow is controlled. What is that gas in this chemical vapor condensation? You will come to know while discussing the procedure involved in the chemical vapor condensation. In this particular method, that is chemical vapor condensation method, the gas flow is controlled. Whereas in the case of CVD, chemical vapor deposition, gas flow is not controlled. That is the first difference, by which instead of producing the thin film nanomaterials, in the case of the chemical vapor deposition, it is producing the metal based or ceramic based nanomaterials. The second factor is the pressure difference between the precursor delivery system and chamber. Pressure difference between the precursor delivery system and chamber. So this is another factor which decides the formation of either the thin film nanomaterials or metal based or ceramic based nanomaterials. The pressure difference between precursor system and the chamber. And third, the heating source which is being used in the CVD is the normal heating. Normal heating is being used. Whereas in the case of chemical vapor condensation method, the heating source is either inductive heating or resistive heating. Inductive heating or resistive heating. So these are the three factors about which I have explained clearly to you. Decides either to form the thin film nanomaterials or to form the metal based or ceramic based nanomaterials. That is, these are the three factors which differentiates the chemical vapor deposition and chemical vapor condensation, students. Right. So this is how we can differentiate the chemical vapor condensation from the gas condensation processing. And this is how we can differentiate chemical vapor deposition and chemical vapor condensation, even though the name is almost one-eyed scene. Now let us come to our actual topic. Actual topic is chemical vapor condensation. Now this chemical vapor condensation is developed in Germany. In 1994. This chemical vapor condensation method was developed in Germany in 1994, students. 1994. And this process involves the pyrolysis. This process involves the pyrolysis of vapor of organometallic compounds. vapor of organometallic compound in a reduced pressure condition. In a reduced pressure condition. Now, what do you mean by pyrolysis? Pyrolysis is nothing but heating the substance at elevated temperature under inert condition. Now, based upon this fact, we can say that the precursor which is being used in this particular chemical vapor condensation method is organometallic compound. Organometallic compound. The most widely used organometallic compound in chemical vapor condensation is hexamethyl disilizane. Hexamethyl disilizane. Hexamethyl disilizane, whose formula is CH3 taken 3 Si NH Si CH3 taken 3. So this is the most widely used organometallic compound. Most widely used organometallic compound during this CVC, that is chemical vapor condensation method. Hexamethyl disilizane. Now, already I have discussed that this particular method of chemical vapor condensation is useful for the preparation of metal-based or ceramic-based nanomaterials such as zirconium dioxide and yttrium oxide. Zirconium dioxide and yttrium oxide. Not only that, this particular chemical vapor condensation method is also useful for the preparation of the complex metal oxide. So complex metal oxide, which is BaTiO3, students. BaTiO3, which is nothing but barium titanate. Right. So this is the introduction to the chemical vapor condensation method and what for it is being used and what is the precursor which is being used in this particular chemical vapor condensation method, which is majorly used for the preparation of metal or ceramic based or complex metal oxide. Now let us see how we can prepare the metal or ceramic based or complex metal oxide making use of a chemical vapor condensation method. So for carrying out the chemical vapor condensation method, we have to consider this particular equipment, student. And already I have discussed in the beginning that the principle or mechanism or procedure involved in chemical vapor condensation is same as the gas condensation processing. Do remember that. Only the heating source is different. Now, so we have to take the precursor in the chamber, one of the chamber. What is the precursor? The precursor is the substance which do undergo change. That is the precursor. And what is the precursor used, student, in this chemical vapor condensation based upon the previous stuff which I have explained to you? Organometallic compounds. Most widely used are organometallic compounds in chemical vapor condensation method. Precursor is organometallic compound. And what is the most widely used organometallic compound as the precursor in chemical vapor condensation, which is hexamethyl disilizane. Now this precursor is taken in one of the chamber, students, right? And the heat source is different when compared to the gas condensation process. In the gas condensation processing, what was the heat source? Joules heating or laser ablation. So if there is any ambiguity in order to understand what is Joules heating, please do watch that video which I have exclusively made up on gas condensation processing, by which we can prepare the prepare the composite nanomaterials. So precursor is taken in the chamber. Either by means of inductive heating or resistive heating, we can heat the precursor which has been taken in the first chamber. Now, what do you mean by inductive heating? Inductive heating, it is one of the heating process. It is one of the heating process in which electric current is induced on the substance or the material. Right? Inductive heating is one of the heating process in which electric current is passed through the material. So we can use the inductive current or a resistive current or resistive heating in order to heat the precursor. Now, what is a resistive heating? It is another form of heating or another process of heating which involves the heating of high resistance containing substance by passing the electric current. High resistance substance by passing the electric current. So this is the inductive heating and resistive heating. So with the help of either inductive heating or resistive heating, we can heat the precursor, which is usually the organic metallic compound, in this particular method. Now, under the influence of the inductive heating or resistive heating, the precursor, which is organometallic compound, will vaporize. And these precursor molecules which have been vaporized will not have the enough energy to transfer into the chamber where the condensation of the vaporized molecule takes place. So in order to, as the energy associated with the vaporized precursor molecules is less, there is a need of some molecules which can carry the vaporized precursor molecules into the chamber. So that job is being done by the carrier gas. And what are the carrier gases? Already I have explained in the previous class also: helium, argon and krypton. So what is the purpose of the carrier gas? This carrier gas carries the vaporized precursor molecules into the chamber where condensation process takes place. So this is the chamber, and already have discussed, students, that in the case of chemical vapor condensation, we are going to use the two precursors resulting in the formation of the mixture of nanomaterials or single phase nanomaterials or dope nanomaterials. So for which we need to add the other precursor from this particular inlet, which is attached to the second chamber. So by means of this inlet which is attached to the second chamber, we have to pass the other reactants, other precursors into it. Now, whatever the vapors of the first precursor and the vapors of the second precursor, because in the second chamber also heating is being done. So since the heating is being done now, the another precursor molecules are also getting evaporated, that is gets vaporized. Now the vapors of the first precursor from the first chamber and vapors of the second precursor from the second chambers are present in the second chamber. Now, when the dynamic vacuum is created, already discussed in the previous class, when the dynamic equilibrium is created or generated inside the chamber, then the vapors, hot vapors, coalesce. The hot vapors of the precursor 1 and hot vapors of the precursor 2 coalesce. Coalesce means join or merge together. So due to the merging or joining of these hot vapors of the first precursor and the second precursor, the cluster of the precursor vapor molecules are resulted, the cluster. Now these are very hot. So since these are very hot, so definitely there is a need to condense these very hot clusters, and these clusters which have been formed are nothing but either the metal based or ceramic based nanomaterials, students. Now we have to carry out the condensation process in order to collect those metal based or ceramic based nanomaterials, so which can be done by thermophoretic effect, students. Already I have explained in the previous video which I have made on gas condensation processing, thermophoretic effect. What is thermophoretic effect? This is the effect by which the particles are repelled from the hot surface and attracted towards the cold surface, right? Now thermophoretic effect comes into picture, and because of this thermophoretic effect, whatever the nanomaterials which have been formed, either they are the metal nanomaterials or the ceramic nanomaterials, which are very hot and adhering or sticking to the hot chamber, will repel from the hot surface and attracted towards the cold surface. And what is the cold surface here? The cold surface is nothing but the rotating cylinder, and that rotating cylinder is the cold finger in which liquid nitrogen is impregnated. Liquid nitrogen is impregnated or present. Liquid nitrogen is the coolant in this. Now, because of the liquid nitrogen, which is the coolant in the cylindrical tube, which is the cold finger, so this cylindrical tube is operated at cold conditions. Now the condensation of the hot vapors of the precursor 1 and precursor 2, which have been converted into cluster, takes place on the cold surface of the cold finger. Now this red color, whatever the particles which have shown in the red color are nothing but the nanomaterials which have been accumulated on the surface of this cold finger. Now, so there is a need to isolate or extract these nanomaterials which have been accumulated on the surface of the cold finger. So that job is being done by the scraper. So this scraper will scrape the nanomaterials which have been accumulated on the surface of the cold finger, and finally in the particle collection chamber we are going to collect either the metal based nanomaterials or ceramic based nanomaterials or complex metal oxides such as barium titanate or titanate. So this is how we can prepare the metal based nanomaterials or ceramic based nanomaterials or complex metal oxides such as barium titanate, right? So in this particular video I have not only explained the procedure involved in chemical vapor condensation method, I have clearly explained what is the difference between the gas condensation processing and chemical vapor condensation, even though the mechanism or procedure or everything is one and same, right? And not only that, I have explained the difference between chemical vapor deposition and chemical vapor condensation, because the name implies that both are same, but both are not same, students. Why both are not same, I have clearly explained. I hope you understood this video. So till next time I will come with another video, another interesting video. So thanks for watching.